My name is Jackson Kimije, or Nthiga. I come from Embu, the capital city of Kenya is called Nairobi. But we have different cities in Kenya, that's what we are proud about. I will purpose to spend my 10 minutes, but I would like to donate at least 2 of them to the next speaker, to be fair enough. We are generous in time. So I will just walk you through 3 things. The first one is, I would just want to tell you what's an SE and what you do. Why am I saying this? The concept of us having a discussion with Ethiopia community through the iCapital with our partner is to appreciate our journey, what we've done, and also make sure that you don't walk through the tough journey that we did in the spirit of setting a functional financial system. It will be unfair for me to come here and not convey the greetings of my chief executive, who is actually very passionate about supporting the Ethiopia community in setting up a functional exchange. In terms of our transformational journey, we want to create an imagery thinking about what you'll be expected to work. And we also want to give you some shortcuts that you can take, but I will not be able to cover all the things that we've walked through, but I'll just share some hint of what has been done in the capacity development space for purpose of you appreciating what you need to be prepared about. Thirdly is to say that we also want to be part of the history of this country. If you are able to be given an opportunity of supporting capacity when you're setting up your exchange, it will be very easy for us to go to the walls of the exchange that supported that initiative. I like using this image every time I go for any of my presentation. You can choose to be walking the path of challenges, or you can choose to walk the path of comfort, and nobody celebrates you. The most important thing, be like a chameleon, adapt to every environment, and always be ready to take your small steps towards your direction. This is an image that I always remember was created in my mind when I started my campus, or what you call university education. But it doesn't matter. If you take the small steps and you adopt to environment, things will be light. So we're also telling you, as a financial market, just adopt to the environment and also take the challenges that are coming with you as you move in your journey. In terms of the stock market, I know there was a very big debate about what can be done and what needs to be done. The biggest debate we have in most of the setup or beginning of any business is what should be the first one to do. When you're setting up an exchange, you can choose to start with the regulations. You can choose to do the products, or you can choose to bring the issuers who are going to bring the product in the market. You can also choose to start trading. Like, for instance, you don't have to have a formally declared stock market for you to be able to trade shares. The Nairobi Stock Exchange started almost 40 years before the regulator was formed. So you can actually start, the business can start, then you left now doing the other logistics behind. Further, you can also choose to start putting the platform in place. The platform means that you buy the infrastructure that you require to do your business and put it ready for you to do business. But the most important thing to ask is, where is the position of knowledge in all this discussion? The best systems, the best products, the best businesses will thrive only and only when the people who are driving the business appreciate what they're doing, how they are doing it, and why they are doing it. We happen to be in the space of natural clues. Natural clues means that the moment you take off in the air, it is only God that the nature or the will of nature that will dictate what transpires. Why am I saying that? For instance, we formed a stock market. We have gone all the way to forming a derivatives market. But looking at our region, the East Africa region, which has the biggest population that we are looking at as the investors, the knowledge was still very low. So encouraging you to consider knowledge as a key parameter of your delivery when you're starting your business. It will do you a big service. It will give you a chance of understanding what you need, how you need it, and why you need it. So the pillars of forming a market can be dynamic, but focus on knowledge first to be able to make sure that if you're buying a system, it is being procured by people who have knowledge about the system that are required, how they should be integrated, and how they will be configured to suit your market. Next. In terms of the capital market ecosystem, I know I'm talking to financial players. The most important thing that I would like to say about these slides is that as guys, we have walked our journey. We have a capital market regulator. We have the stock market. We have investment advisors, we have fund managers, we have all manner of players in the industry. But the most important thing is to realize in our image, we have given a very big circle to the regulator. This is people money you're dealing with. The regulator needs to be very clear, very firm, and very focused to ensuring the investor protection is key. And the investing community respects law and order. That's very key for us. Integrity in the market, governance in the market is very important. That's why the regulator plays a very key role. However, the regulator must also be seen to be deliberately supporting the formation of business or formation of the market. That would be the most important thing. In terms of our journey, I said we have an history of, we were from 1954. Some of us is a story written on the wall. We have just read it. So don't worry, your 1954 is now. Rwanda came, Tanzania came, but all of us are exchanges, and we are actually under the umbrella of the East Africa Securities Exchange Association. We are under the umbrella of African Stock Exchange Association, purpose being that we are borrowing from each other. We are not competing. We are trying to complement each other and support each other to walk the journey. The only thing that I like to say about this is that come learn from the experienced people. One of the speakers in the past session said, we need to form an institute that can be able to get the knowledge to the people. But I want to also emphasize further that you actually need to form an institution that can be able to host the knowledge that the future generation coming in beyond your space will be able to come and refer to. One of the funny thing or the most unique thing is that if you come to the NSE trading floor, nobody has a clear understanding of how our first chairman used to look like. We don't have a photo of our first chairman. So create an history as you create the knowledge. It is important and appreciated. In terms of business, for instance, yesterday we did 9.6 million USD turnover. So we are a market that is priced around 1 B in trading in a day. But we are saying that we also have our fair challenges of moving the market because of what we appreciate. Partnership is key. If you look at NSE, as much as you're saying we are still in advanced or above the peers in the industry, we are members of local and international organizations. And this now speaks to what people perceive about you. I remember one of the discussions that was on the table here was about opening up your economy. There are two forms of religion that you prescribe to this. Is either you are deliberately opening your economy, having strategically positioned yourself, or you will be forced by institutional circumstances to open up your economy. Why do I say this? If today I want to come and do business in Ethiopia and I cannot access, that capital find its avenue somewhere else. But remember, you also need the Ethiopian community to invest their resources in other countries. The most important thing for any institution formulating policies is to make sure that you hold as much capital within your economy as you can through liberalization of business, not through caging of businesses. So consider that as you put in your policies in place, that you also require capital to come in and capital to go out. That's a philosophy that you have to decide where you sit. There is one institution that I would like to encourage our peers within the industry to join, which is the African Stock Exchange Association. It gives you the advantages of leveraging on all the exchanges that are existent and are above you when you're setting up your exchange. Next is that we do training. The biggest disadvantage we had, we were doing our training institute after we realized things are learning south when we are still in business. You have an opportunity of setting your own knowledge base before the institution take place. So we started our dedicated academy in 2005. Today is a major revenue stream contributing 3% of the total turnover that we are proud to host in the stock market. Our target is in the next 2 years, we should be able to hit 10% of the gross income of the exchange coming from training. Why is continuous development key in setting up your institution? First thing is the specialized nature of your businesses dictate that you require experts, not academicians, to come and sit with you to understand and appreciate the practical bit about what needs to be done. So you have to create your own talent. Education gives you ability to absorb knowledge, but skills gives you an advantage. Number two is the dynamic pace. Today we are talking about regulation, tomorrow we talk about something else, products, name them. So it's good to keep up with that pace. Then it's also good to develop new investors, go to schools, go to institutions, so that they can be able to give you opportunity of educating their own people, but with professionals. And finally, this is our approach. We have set a dedicated unit for training and public education in our company, which is actually being moved to be an independent entity, so that we can be able to engage the regional players in our discussions. And our recommendation is, decide how you want to set up your market, create knowledge about it, and make sure that you don't go below the standards of the rest. Benchmark with the best, but I, as Jackson of NSE, this is what we are willing to offer you. We are willing to partner with you information of your stock market in terms of whether it's a public traded market, whether it's an OTC, whatever market you make, we have all the knowledge. We have walked that journey. So with our partner iCapital, we are developing a detailed program that will walk you through all the players we talked about in the capital market. But to mark it all, we have what we call the market simulator. I would like you people to just go to the NSE website, check what you are doing with the NSE simulator. We have actually moved the market into a virtual platform that even you, when you're learning, you can practice how stock markets work, and you can also see how people make money, how people lose money in the economy. And finally, you get our calendar. We have 36 offerings that we are doing for the financial market, from investment operations and regulations. And the most important, discuss with people. Don't set up institutions to look nice. Listen, think, and decide what type of institutions you want to set up, how they will be functional, and the financial market is run on trust. All the things you do create maximum trust with yourself, as regulators, as players, as investors in the market. Thank you very much.